September 9th, 2014. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Right hand over your heart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
A quorum is present.
Any person who wishes to address the City Council on any items of today's agenda may do so at this time.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Joseph Texera. I'm commenting on the warrant register. As I've said many times, it is unethical for this council and this city clerk to maintain a business relationship with a paper like Inglewood Today and an owner like Willie Brown. Just because you know he will print nothing but good things about you and will consistently hide all of your mistakes, misconduct, and violations of the law, you keep paying him. And remember, I sued Willie Brown for libel, and Brown paid Beverly Hills' attorney to try to get the suit thrown out, but a Superior Court judge denied his request because the judge said, no, the judge ruled that I admit my burden of proof showing that Willie Brown deliberately lied to his readers, lied to the residents of Inglewood. Willie Brown deliberately lied to his readers to defame me and help Alex Padilla win an election. So this council and this city clerk is paying Willie Brown to deliberately deceive, lie to, and mislead Inglewood's residents, and to pervert the elections in Inglewood. You are paying someone to help people get votes with lies. Willie Brown's treachery poisons everyone around him. His dishonesty taints the credibility of the city. Willie Brown has been subpoenaed for deposition, and unless he prints an appropriate retraction about what he said about me, he will be deposed, and he will be shown to have deliberately lied.
Mr. Texera, you're going to have to finish this at the end of the meeting. It's not about the warrant register right now. So I'll be glad.
I'm sorry.
I'll be glad to let you finish at the end of the meeting. All right. Any other public comment?
Good afternoon. The Ward official of the First District. You know, with this item 9, this park and recreation thing where they're going to start serving food in the evenings, I guess they're talking about supper food. I suppose it's not something that we're paying for, but I'd like to know, why we are doing this and where, in fact, these places are going to be. I understand some of them might be in the schools, and I don't know, this seems to be a problem in the schools and in the areas in which we live, and I don't know why. They're giving foods away in the morning and the afternoon, and now evidently in the evening. So I'd like to know why, if you want to answer to it. I also want to say to you all, you profess to be full-time people and full-time employees with regard to your positions for the residents of Inglewood. I would let the city know, as I have in the past, that that's a policy. You guys haven't been around to have any meetings for several weeks now.
Mr. Fisher, which item are you talking about?
It has to do with the finances, and it has to do with public monies that we are spending it.
Mr. Fisher, I'm going to let you finish this time, but from now on, please, and I'll give you back your time, we're going to stick to the agenda items here, and then when we get into your normal thing about the council, we're going to leave that for the end. So go ahead and finish this time.
Thank you. And, again, you said you were going to give me the time. But I will say to you, as I have said to you, it has to do with finances and the finances that we, the city of Inglewood taxpayers, pay. And so, I bring this to you, and I bring this to the residents of this city to know that it's a policy that you are full-time employees. None of you are. None of you are. All you do is sit here and suck the money from the residents of this city, and sit around and play your little games with the Forum or Madison Square Gardens or whatever else you choose to do. But, you know, you're not getting anything done for the residents of this city. I had people talk to you last meeting about people getting excited here
Mr. Fisher,
by the parking
again,
employees. It has to do, again,
you're off again, Mr. Fisher.
Mr. Butts, it has to do with
Excuse me, sir. I'm going to say, in the future, we're going to just stop this 6 minutes of free time, okay? When you have things like that, we want to hear them, but there's a time at the end of the meeting for it. In the meantime, please try to stick to the agenda item.
Oh, you know, it has to do with finances, Mr. Butts, and I'll leave with you with that.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Gil Matthews, District 4, Mayor and City Council, speaking on payment of the bills. Here again, we have a situation of the financial condition of the city, and it's been very reluctant on any of the council members or the mayor to speak of what is the true financial condition of the city. Now, the previous meeting, I hope you all got a copy of it that the city clerk delivered to you. And she told you verbally exactly what I've been saying about the outstanding debt of the successor agency.
The city clerk did not.
Yes, she did. But you read the report. Now, we have to look at the tape. She gave you an accurate amount of the outstanding debt from the ROPS. And I appreciate it. And she told you about AB 26 and AB 1484. So she is getting the information. Now, in addition to that, Mr. Fields has a list of 7 projects which the outstanding debt approximately now is $700 million. So simply what I did, I combined the two figures, and that's the total outstanding debt. It's not general funds, but it's outstanding debt of the successor agency. So I'm not trying to deliver anything that's not public information, but there seems to be some confusion that no one wants to discuss it. But what is, it's a fact. And also now we have a situation where the fire station is temporarily closed. Now we have an old report. Now we've been paying the county for 4 fire stations. Now have we been getting a reduction in monies, or have we temporarily closed it because of finances? And if it's temporarily closed, what is it being used for now? And when is it scheduled to be open? And if not, why not? See, there's many things going on here that needs to be discussed. And this I said before, you're very honest people. I have no problem with that. But you're not doing your fiduciary duty. And this is what I have concern about. This is what everybody has concern about. And we need a plan B for this city. And we should have had budget hearings a long time ago. We 3 weeks before the new fiscal year. That's unconscionable.
Thank you.
Sir, Inglewood today is on the warrant register. And if this is open for agenda items, I'm supposed to be able to speak.
Oh, absolutely. But if you're going to talk about your lawsuit,
No, I'm talking about Willie Brown.
I know.
Somebody that's getting sued should not be paid by the city if he deliberately lied to mislead voters. If nobody understands that, I'm sorry, you weren't raised right. What was that? Oh, how much time do I have left, by the way?
actually, you're about 50 seconds left.
Okay, so Willie Brown's lies and treachery taints those around him. Alex Padilla was elected with Willie Brown helping him. I don't really have anything wrong against Alex Padilla, but Willie Brown's association with him taints him. We have a commissioner, David Rice. David Rice got subpoenaed the other day. He's going to be deposed. We've got people in this city that are being brought down by Willie Brown because you can't find another paper to put an ad in. We've got many different papers. But we have to stick with this one guy just because he helps you get elected. That's just not right.
My name is Diane Sembrano, and of the $4 million that were spent that we're discussing today, that are on the agenda to discuss, I don't know which one paid for these two great screens. I have no clue. But I will tell you that whichever one of those it is, just like someone before me said, we need to reconsider how we spend those dollars. I look back over here and I see plastic seats that are a hazard for anyone who is handicapped trying to use them. But we have videos up here so that you can shine your pretty little faces and pretty little charts, even though you usually don't let the people of the audience see the charts. But you're worried because someone says we need to spend wisely. Wisely. You somehow mysteriously lost. You claim you didn't fire. You offered them a retirement package, 44 employees. And yet others got small increases. You don't even have the dollar amount on here for the fire protection issue. How is that? There's nothing transparent in this room at all, other than we have a lot of people who are not transparent. I'm going to read the dollars amounts because you clearly already told Mr. Texera to sit down until someone else arrived. Thank you for being here and observing this to one of the individuals who is elected on a state level, that we had someone told he could not discuss the $5,472, $4,104, $450, and $1,200 ads that were placed at our taxpayer expense in one newspaper. And the suggestion has always been diversification. Why is it we are so completely committed to one paper and only one, who routinely has not celebrated both sides of an issue, but only picks one? Journalists actually take both sides of an issue. Publicity people celebrate one. And we, the taxpayers, would prefer a journalist rather than simple publicity.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. Good to see y'all after such a little while. We've had a while of night meetings, but now we're back. And I would like to talk about Mr. Willie Brown since he is on the agenda as well. Mr. Brown, I don't know you very well, but I do not come up here to defame your name. You do a job, and America is about having a job. You do your job well. Doesn't matter what your opinion is, it's an opinion. In America, the Constitution says you have a right to free speech, and that's what you do, whether I like it or not. Does not matter. But when I see people come up here and defame you, it's sort of just, not just you, but the whole council and the people of Inglewood as well, because they say they're residents, but they don't act like residents. They're trying to their best to get face time, to say things to make themselves look like they're somebody who they are not. They're mad because of things that have happened in their past with our police department and our former mayor. A lot of people, like I said before, please get over it. Grow up. Do other things in your life.
Mr. Bailey, but you got to stick to the agenda items.
Well, that's
something more fit for the end.
Right.
All right.
These are my comments. Thank you, and I'll see you at the end.
All right. Thank you.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. My concern is Mr. Willie Brown, paper. I've been here for 18 years. Outstanding paper. And I don't think the city of Inglewood could have a better representative. Although there's a lot of people that's against him because that candidate was defeated. It was defeated by a good man, Mr. Alex Padilla.
But we got to stay on the topic of the warrant
Well,
registry right now.
and Mr. Brown, I appreciate you being here in Inglewood. I'm a 53-year resident, 18-year council participant. I pay taxes, lots of taxes, and I appreciate what you're doing for the city. All I can do is say, keep up the good work, and you got my support, and I hope the people out there in the audience do the same thing. There's not another paper in the city of Inglewood. I don't think you can call the Chronicle a paper. Maybe that's who they want to represent the city, not me. That's a disaster. Thank you. Keep up the good work, Mr. Brown.
I know, who's that back there talking right now? Could we please stop, whoever it is? We'll close public comment. DR1 has been pulled. Item 1, CSA1, will open the successor agency and the housing authority.
A quorum is present.
And,
Allow for payments of bills.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council and agency members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Could we open the finance authority?
Quorum is present.
Item 2, CSA2, H2, and F1.
Approval of the minutes held for council, successor agency, housing authority, and finance authority on August 19th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council and agency members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Consent calendar items 3 through 12.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. A1, oral report, City Attorney.
Thank you. No oral reports for tonight.
CM1.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. 2 items. Just want to remind the public that we'll be having our Hispanic Heritage Festival on Saturday, September 20th, 2014. It'll be held at Crozier Middle School from 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. And also, I want to congratulate all of those individuals who worked on our Relay for Life this past year. We've been nominated and identified as an up-and-coming event. This designation is given to relays for exemplary achievement in planning and execution of Relays for Life. The City of Inglewood was chosen because of the tremendous growth in both fundraising, networking, and resource building and community involvement. As a result, our Director, Sabrina Barnes, and our Chair, Kurt Rogers, will be attending the 2014 Nationwide Relay for Life Leadership Summit, and they will be representing us in Dallas, Texas on September 19th and 20th. So again, hats off to the entire community for participating in our Relay for Life.
Thank you. CC1. Madam Clerk?
A couple of weeks ago, we had a small business seminar, and I forgot to mention the most important thing that happened was we had a voter registration table, and we did very, very well. I also wanted to bring to your attention that happened a couple of weeks ago. Aisha Phillips, Thompson, who sits on the side of me, is now the deputy city clerk. So I just thought we would. She's shy. Aisha's been with us for 8 years, and she's been truly a blessing, and welcome aboard as the deputy city clerk. And one more announcement, on October 25th, we will be having a health fair. The council, Chairman Jerome Horton and Wanda Brown, and the mayor, Council Chairman Jerome Horton and Wanda Brown, as well as myself, will be participating in the health fair, and we will also have voter registration table there as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I think the city treasurer does want to have her time to talk, so let's take CSA 3, H3, and F2 and separate out CT1.
Monthly treasurer's report for the month ending June 30th, 2014.
Receive and file the CT1.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you catching that oversight. Definitely would like to have my time to speak. Wow, and I really like our new system here. This is fantastic.
We'll be talking about it at the end.
Wow. Well, anyhow, just to give a treasury report as of June 30th, 2014, for the city, the funds on investments, $94,838,174. Successor agency, $108,592,566. Housing Authority, $100,625. Public Financing Authority, $13,498,450. And the funds under management total is $217,029,815. And again, the report is on the table for you, so you can follow along with me. And if you just take a look again at the categories, it's all broken down by categories. We'll see for our checking account, the total is $18,193,162. The savings is $14,804, and money markets is $9,705.901. And local agents investment fund, that's the funds that's actually in our state pool. These are funds that's just there. This has not been utilized that the city can utilize should any kinds of emergencies, come about. And these are funds that I'm very careful to keep a rather large balance there. And the funds is there, and this is like idle cash. It's $23,431,745, and that's in the state pool. And the bond securities, now these are the funds that I've actually invested. It's $52,296,561. Now this is as of June 30th, 2014. The current funds that's actually invested is $46,287,539, and that difference is basically these bonds that have been called. So keep in mind, I buy bonds for, say, 5 years with maybe 1 year call protection or 6-month call protection, and generally, depending on how the interest rates are going up or down, these bonds are called. So the actual bonds outstanding is $46,287,539. And bond proceeds, that's $95 million. This is a bond issue that was actually floated back in 2007, $95,923,569. And investment in fiscal agent, $17,465,073. Again, all told, $217,029,815. And again, I provided with some excellent detail that's on the table for you to review. And also for diversification, I did buy $1 million in CDs in an effort to diversify the portfolio somewhat, and that having actually better rates than the 5-year bonds. So I bought an American Express CD through their bank that's for $250,000, and it has a rate of 2.05. Discover Bank, $250,000. And Goldman Sachs Bank, $250,000, and Sallie Mae Bank, $250,000. And these all have a rate of better than 2%, which is substantially better than what I can get in the bond market now because of the very low interest rates. And I would also like to thank all of those who came out to the Community Financial Workshop that we held this past Saturday. And the part 2 will be this coming Saturday on the 13th. So after you all go to the Mayor's Town Hall, be sure to come right on over to the Community Financial Workshop and see what we're going to be talking about there, which we talked about reverse mortgages, insurance, whole life versus term, homeowners insurance, automobile insurance. We talked about annuities, what an annuity is, investments, mutual funds, and we talked about retirement, how much money you will need for retirement. A lot of folks aren't really quite planning for retirement, and they need to take another look at that. And so also we talked about the Rule of 72 and the pros and cons of annuities. And again, this part 2 of this will be this coming Saturday in Community Room A from 1:30 until 3. And I saw this little interesting article here. It's in Villa Park, a small California city of only 5,800 residents. It's looking into quitting CalPERS. Its public employees retirement plan is projected to increase by 50% over the next 7 years. And the city leaders requested CalPERS to tell them how much it would cost for them to get out of CalPERS. They're no longer going to be a part of CalPERS. So CalPERS sent them a short letter, said it would cost you $3.6 million. The budget is 3.5. So they won't be coming out of CalPERS. And another little quick article, Mayor, if I could have another 30 seconds.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. The city of Scranton, the birthplace of Vice President Joe Biden, is again on the front, on the public's pension headlines. And the general auditors gave them a dire warning that they will be running out of money to pay their police and firefighters in the next 3 to 5 years. Their shortfall for their retirement system is running $13 million annually. That concludes my remarks, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Treasurer. Public comment. Any persons wishing to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time.
My name is Alfonso Parker, Jr. I'm a Vietnam War veteran, 66, 67, conscious objector. I've been talking as high as I can. Sometimes I lose my voices. You're reading in the paper every day where they're throwing themselves on their swords. The Veterans Administration admits that they have been scandalous. It's not scandalous or ethics. They've been committing treason. The FBI, the Justice Department, after 60 years, is saying they're going to investigate the Veterans Administration. Ladies and gentlemen, the Veterans Administration is nothing but bounty hunters. They make no rules. They are not a part of the Constitution. President of the United States, these presidents, vice presidents, commander-in-chiefs, secretary of defense, secretary and congressmen have been committing acts of terrorism and treason, thanks to the Bushes, by the way, for terrorism, domestic terrorism. They threw that one in there. They have been trashing your records since they were formed. NSA is a rogue terrorist organization that was set up deliberately by the United States Naval and Marine Corps intelligence to trash your military lives, your records from the day you registered. I have this evidence. It is not the Veterans Administration. That is not your problem. They're nothing. Fireside chat committee for these presidents. Your culprits are AARP, Disabled American Veterans, nonprofits that are involved in it, doctors, lawyers, politicians that have taken a Lawrence Darner degree, liberal arts degree. Actually, what it is propaganda, how to lie, cheat, steal, and murder your own. They're murdering and assassinating their own through health, through contacts, through finance, through what is yours. And as I speak, they've closed one dump site and opened a new one. They call them, I think Paul Ryan for the Republican President, call them the new Young Guns or something. Ladies and gentlemen, I want CNN. You've done the story on Vietnam dolls, every damn thing you can, except a Vietnam conscious objector or a Vietnam veteran. Come see us. I want CNN to come see me. I have their documentation that they passed off. I worked litigation once in a major case between Boeing and Northrop, and I worked discovery. And when they get a damning document, they misfile it. And I happen to know what they're doing because I worked discovery. I want CNN. My number is 232-842-3363. I want Channel 9, which is Channel 2 National. I want Channel 5. And I want no black organization, no newspaper. I've been screaming this at you. I went to the NAACP. I went to the Sentinel for years, and you didn't do nothing about it. They're throwing themselves on their sword, and they haven't quit. I want these stations to come see. And I'm not scared of you. I'm God's child. He brought me from there to face you. For all of us. We don't need none of you advocates and nobody else to speak to us anymore for us. We can speak for ourselves. Oh, by the way, Mayor,
Thank you, Mr.
Frank
Parker.
Scroggins said, why is it that you do not publish,
Mr. Parker,
run the meetings on public access anymore?
Mr. Parker, it's time.
These are longtime residents, too. Get me any way you want me. I'm waiting for you.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Joseph Texera. First, as a 53-year resident of Inglewood, I was around to watch the forum being built. I've probably gone to more forum events than 99% of Inglewood's residents. I've seen Olympic events, tennis, ice capades, graduations, my nephew playing basketball, college basketball, and a triple overtime game between the Lakers and the 76ers with Dr. J. Charles Barkley, Magic, Worthy, and Kareem. And I've been to a number of concerts, including the opening with the Eagles. However, because most residents don't go to the forum, it is only worth it to us to have the forum here if the forum gives the city enough money to compensate us for all of this inconvenience, pay for adequate traffic control, and give us a net profit beyond that. Now, I don't know how much net profit we're going to get, but the forum is causing all kinds of inconvenience for residents because the current traffic plan is completely inadequate. For instance, at 1 in the afternoon on the day of the Video Music Awards, instead of it taking me about 10 minutes to safely get from my house to Sentinel Hospital, it took me about 25 minutes to unsafely get there because there was a detour, and the lights on Crenshaw and Pincay Drive and Crenshaw and Manchester were both completely dark with no one directing traffic. And the night of the VMAs, the traffic coming from the forum and people picking up event goers after the event was not only an inconvenience, but it endangered both residents and non-residents, drivers and pedestrians. And I'd like the mayor to comment about that. Next, last Wednesday, I again personally witnessed how incompetently and crookedly the Inglewood Planning Commission meetings are run. Chairman Springs was belligerent and repeatedly refused to follow the law, even though the assistant city attorney repeatedly told Springs that he had made a mistake and that he needed to let the public comment on the approval of the minutes. But I guess that's what happens when you appoint incompetent people to commissioners just because they helped you with your election. And if anybody wants to see it for themselves, just Google Brown Act violations by the Inglewood Planning Commission. Lastly, this is the last chance I'm giving the mayor to retract his previously dishonest, slanderous, and dim-witted comments claiming that I pose some sort of physical threat to anyone. Remember, it's the mayor who has the violent supporters who threaten to hurt people and use illegal physical force to keep residents out of council meetings if they criticize the mayor. Now, I understand how the mayor can get frustrated because no matter what kind of scam he tries to pull, like tonight saying that Inglewood Today wasn't on the warrant register, he still can't stop the truth from getting out. He still can't stop people from finding out that he is a lying, dishonest, law-breaking bully. And if the mayor does not retract his slanderous statements about me, the courtesy that I and others have mercifully given him for years of never mentioning his scandalous personal life will come to an end.
Mr. Fisher, could you please come forward?
I'm doing the best I can at the age I am. Listen, I wanted to talk about this city. I happened to look at some of the trees that were planted on Crenshaw, and some of those that also are on Manchester. They're dying, and we put that money into them, and then we don't take care of them. I guess that's par for the city, for the course of this city, not taking care of things. I wanted to speak to a problem of you, Mr. Dotson, of bringing your meetings to the church. We have the ICOP Center that most of the residents are used to going to and used to being able to speak to our councilman about the problems in the district. When you have had these last few meetings that you've had, you pretend to use the cover of the church to get things unaccomplished, because we don't get anything accomplished there because we're not even able to stand and ask questions other than fill out little pieces of paper that people tend to answer or not answer. There is a thing, the church and state ought to be separated. I go back to saying, with regard to you all, and your due diligence for this city, it seems to me that you have meetings whenever you choose to. You change the time of these meetings whenever you choose to. You don't have the meetings, and you profess to be full-time employees of this city. I mean, you're getting all this money that you're taking for your salaries, that is more money than any city in the South Bay, and you've been doing it for such a long time. There was one time that the residents of the city voted against it, and, it still was put into the charter by little games that past people played. It's time that one of you stand up and say that, I don't need to do this, I'm here to stand for the city, to the residents of the city, and I don't need to screw them by, taking their monies and not doing anything for it, because that's exactly what I see you doing, and especially in the first district, which I live.
Hi, my name's Michelle Gagne Maiden, and I'm here representing my mom, Ida Gagne, and Mr. Fisher's our neighbor. She's lived in the community. I was raised here for 52 years. And my mom had a business on Crenshaw, Manchester for over 30 years. And recently, over the last 4 years, she was a victim of predatory lending. Wells Fargo illegally foreclosed. I had to go through all of that. I don't personally live in Inglewood, but I grew up here, like you did, Mayor. And what happened to my mom is just, I can't even put it into words. She didn't deserve any of it. But recently, as of August 4th, we've had issues with her bills because she's now confined to the house. She's on 24-hour-a-day oxygen, life support, the whole 9 yards. And one of the employees in the water department didn't quite understand that when I say my mom's among the first blacks to integrate Inglewood, and I couldn't go to school here when I was growing up. I mean, we're pioneers. We've created a lot, and as I hear a lot of things about you, Mayor Butts, but actually, I'm in the entertainment business, and I'm thrilled that the forum is open. So get whatever parking issues you need to, and for the VMAs to be in Inglewood, it is an honor. It's a privilege. It is amazing that our little community, which is so powerful, could get the entire world to put their eyes on us. So from my heart to all of you, which is taking up my time in being in that industry, I was so on top of the world that my place I grew up had the VMAs back, and the forum is back to what it was originally. It's life back into the city, and the money will come. And it's up to, of course, all of you and all of the members, and you've been a citizen for 53 years. These people have a lot of wisdom. And I'm here on my mom's behalf because they turned off her water. This is why where I'm going with it. And the people that work in the water department, I'm explaining to them that I only have American Express. I can't give you the deposit. And to make a long story short, my mom has been sick. And I'm paying $2,000 to $3,000 a month just to get nurses to take care of her, because her last wishes is to stay in her home on 77th Street for as long as she can be there.
Gagne, was it Gagne?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do this. There are payment plans, and you do have an exceptional circumstance. So if you would do me a favor and give the Sergeant at Arms your mom's name, address, phone number, your name and phone number, we'll put you together with the water department and see if we can't work out a payment plan for a bill and get her water turned on immediately.
And I'm actually, the payment plan situation was, we tried to do that. And actually, this is kind of for your office too. I wanted to give you kudos, so that's where I'm going with it. They turned off her water the day that the water department started giving out vouchers. My mother's voucher was $253. We had no idea, my mom didn't, nor did I, that for years the city of Inglewood would give back their residents their utility taxes. So while this lady is you got to bring the $75, you have to do this, I'm in Big Bear, California. My daughter is a professional snowboarder, the first black female in the history of snowboarding, and I couldn't be here. So it was like, well, we're turning off your water. I said, you can't turn off my mom's water. She said, we're going to do it because you can't get the money in, and then they wanted $500. It went back and forth, so I said, I'm going to call the mayor. She said, do what you need to do. Now, this is over a year and a half, different payment arrangements and stuff. No one ever once told us that she had money coming every year. And so I go in, and Melanie, because you weren't there, got on the phone immediately, and in 15 minutes, my mom's water was turned on. So I do want to say that when I said I'm calling the mayor, she's like, this lady's not calling the mayor, and I called the mayor. And the mayor's office got on the phone with me, and I didn't even have to explain everything. And Melanie turned the water on. But that leads me back to, when you're looking at something and you're in a position, my mother, I have a letter from Dr. Platzer, who has been my family friend and the doctor that takes care of my mom, who was on the Donald Sterling trial, a letter from her stating that my mom has life support. And what do we do as a community, because she's not going anywhere soon? What is in place for people like my mom, that utilities are what keeps them alive and what keeps them in their home so that they don't have to be put in a nursing home? And I'm trying to work out everything with payments so that I'm not paying the thousands out of my pocket every month, so my mom can stay in her house. And so those were my questions to the council, and I did want to thank you, Mayor, and your office, because when I did call, you did get on the phone, and you did tell the water department in a way that, you know, you can't do this, not to a woman that cannot survive without utilities. So, and they were just like, whatever, call the mayor, and I'm like, okay, I will do that. And so that's why I came tonight, because I'm not only calling the mayor, but I'm letting you know, and we did vote for you. And I hope that whatever they're saying here tonight, that you guys work it out. And Mr. Franklin, I've been under the same church that you have for 32 years. He married us. So I know that I have good people here. And if I can help, I'm more than happy to do that in the payment plan, but I just, if any other people are going through this, senior citizens, and they have money coming to them, how long has that water utility, the utility thing been going on? How many years?
You mean the
reimbursement?
Yeah.
For a number of years.
Well, and how I found out about it is I called to speak to this lady, and she was assisting in a senior program. I said, oh, really? What is she doing? Oh, she's giving out money. I said, for what? But I was calm on the phone going, I can't believe they turned off her water, and they owed her $254 for $75.
Now, we let you go over because you had something that would be of interest and use to a lot of people.
Okay.
And so we hold everybody else to the time because it's kind of the same thing over and over again. But we really appreciate, you know, what you had to say.
And I must say that, how many people are from District 1 here? My God, that's my mom's district. So I grew up with judges and teachers on my block, and that's who I am today. So thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Ms. Gagne, just to confirm, the water's on now.
Oh, yeah, Mayor got the water turned off. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Mr. Davis.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and staff. I was happy to wait for the lady. It's her mother. I want to touch base on things I heard as I came in, and hopefully, because, well, the lady's an excellent example. We live in a city that allows personal interaction with people in elected offices. Take advantage of that, my fellow citizens. We can call our mayor, and believe it or not, you might get him on the phone. Okay, I'm sure he's not in the office sitting there all day long, but same thing with city council. I've called my councilor, he's been in the office. And that's the beauty of being in the city of 100,000 people. Try that in LA. You're gonna go through half a dozen people and you'll never talk to anybody. So, I guess I'm saying that to say this. Get involved and stay involved. And, you know, you do have a voice because the town is small enough to have a voice. Okay, my last minute and a half thereabouts. I always look forward to hearing from our treasurer. So he's a lady that keeps it real. I've said this more than once. Councilmen and mayors come and go. But I fear the day she decides to ride off into the sunset because I don't know who's going to replace her. And with that, it was interesting that you spoke about this small city that's in such financial straits regarding CalPERS. And I just heard on TV today, they're still spiking. They said they were going to stop, but they're still doing it. And the fact of the matter is, that's not going to be just that. It's going to be all cities if we're not careful. And I hope the treasurer will keep us abreast of things going on because we don't want to wake up one day and we've fixed all our problems, but we get blindsided. And, you know, as a taxpayer, I want people that serve the state, the city, the county to be compensated, but we have to be real. We have to be adults about it. It's where we are going to be paying people conceivably for more years than they actually worked. And a lot of them are going to be making more money than they made when they were working. And I don't know how we're going to pull that one off. But Time will tell. Thank you very much. You folks have a good night.
Mr. Mayor, City
Mr.
Council, staff, Michael Benville, First District. First of all, I too want to start off by, because you just mentioned it, complimenting our city treasurer. She took the time to talk about diversification and our bonds and stuff like that, and that means something to me. I don't know if it means something to everybody else, but it helps me understand how on top of the job she's in. And the 2%, I hadn't heard 2% in a long time on any kind of return. That's good to hear that we're up to 2%. But that means a lot to the city, and I thank you for that bit of information. Also, the traffic problem that was mentioned, and I'm going to comment on that because I have a keen interest in traffic, and on that day that the awards were given out, I decided I need to get out into the sticks and work the streets and see what's going on one of the busiest days of Inglewood's life. And I got up at 7 o'clock that morning, and me and Keith Lockhart and my councilman from the First District, Braggs, we were out on the streets. We wanted to see firsthand how the streets were blocked off, how it came together, and how it disbanded. And I mean, they did a magnificent job. You can't expect your car to stop at the light a little longer on a day like this when you're entertaining this type of business, and it's business that comes to our city, paying taxes to our city. This means a great deal to our city, and our city will continue to grow, and these things will happen. But nobody complains when the Lakers win the world championships and stuff like that. See, but this is another form of business. This is what brings money to our city, and I'm quite proud to be in this city to say that. But it will happen again, but on the account of the traffic and the people who worked that traffic that day, it was very smooth. Very smooth. And I was out there all day. Not in there looking at the shows and stuff like that. I was working the streets. And we did a wonderful job. Again, one other thing, I keep hearing people say this, and I'm just, it kind of gets to me. The street's name is named after a world-famous jockey, and his name was Lafitte Pincay. Not Pincay, it's Pincay. We don't go around called Michael Jordan, we say Michael Jordan. It's Lafitte Pincay for all the staff, employees, and citizens of this city. Lafitte Pincay, Pincay. Thank you. The other thing,
Mr. Bibba, we better stop in mid-thought.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it moved that fast.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, Councilman Dodson. I have a question to ask Mr. Franklin. On Perry and I believe it's 4th Street or 4th Avenue, whatever it is, on the right-hand side going north, there's a building sitting there that's empty. My wife asked me, what is they gonna put in it? I said, I don't know. I said, but when I go to council meeting, I'll ask Mr. Franklin, is there a reason that that building's sitting there empty? Yellow, brown,
Not on 4th Avenue.
on the right-hand side,
Not on 4th Avenue.
and Prairie?
Not my area.
What, well, the next street is Seppin, and that's where I turn to go to Costco. 4th Street,
I'll talk
in
to
Perry?
you.
Why
You
don't
have
you
the wrong
talk to him
intersection.
afterward?
That's
I,
right.
Why don't you talk to him after the meeting?
oh, no, I'm gonna go.
Okay, all
I'm
right,
scared to wait on y'all outside.
okay.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood, surrounded by beautiful people. You know, it amazes me to sit in that chair there and listen to people come up here and complain about every negative thing that come through their mind. They don't realize that these 5 people, 7 people that were elected up there was elected by majority of the people. And they wasn't put up there to listen to each individual in the city. Now, you have a right to complain. But you have people come up here and they want the city council, the staff, and the treasurer to, look, this is me. You do everything I want you to do. Nothing else matters. These people are representing 115,000 people, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I can complain about something that involved me, but I can't come up here and tell you guys how to vote. I would be, but you got lots of people that do it. Another thing, we got people running for mayor in this city, and they're using this dais to campaign, and they're using it to demean the mayor of this city and this council. As a taxpayer, I don't like it, and I think the mayor should put a stop to it. If you can back up what you're saying up here, that's another thing. I know for a fact, after 18 years here, we have a council that no other city has got right here. We have a staff. City clerk is beyond, Congratulations, Aisha. You're the best. And Miss Wanda Brown, my cousin, what can I say? Look at her. I could never say anything bad about her. She's the best. Absolutely. Just keep up. Y'all keep up to get work. Ignore these naysayers that get up here and complain and demean, talk about it. I know some stuff on some of the complainers that if they keep it up, I'm gonna bring it up here because I'm gonna let the city know about it. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And holding back, but I'm gonna let loose.
Mr. Burt, you've already spoken, sir.
I said 4th Avenue, you knew what I was saying.
Mr. Burt, you've already spoken, sir.
No, give me a little break like you did then.
Mr. Burt, after the meeting. Right.
My name is Diane Sembrano, and I think he's referring to a building that is privately owned that simply hasn't been leased. It's been there for 3 or 4 years, completely empty. With regard to the 3 screens, which I will discuss, whether someone gave them to us, whether we paid for them, whatever the circumstances of their being here, it's like a serious, overwhelmingly, way too much expense. If someone was going to donate this much, I would have hoped that someone would have had the wisdom to say that perhaps we could use that in another location rather than for the roughly 65 chairs here. Because those cost somebody a penny. I don't care if it was the taxpayers that were paying for a ticket somewhere or the taxpayers who went to a store somewhere. Those were not free. That's the whole concept of freebies. Somewhere someone does pay for it, and it's usually taxpayers, whether it's a high price when they go shopping or somewhere else. I would have hoped that we would have utilized them perhaps in the senior center, perhaps in a park, perhaps somewhere other than where they can be used 1 day a week, 2 to 3 hours, if any meeting ever lasts that long. But my major concern tonight is having to do with tomorrow night or tomorrow day. As we began our budget meetings, 1 minute for comments. 3 department presentations and 1 minute for comments. I cannot believe, not for one iota, that in the Ralph N. Brown Act they believed that 1 minute for comments on 3 department presentations is really what they meant when they came up with the Ralph M. Brown Act about public participation. And each and every one of you know that in your heart as well. Each and every one of you know that you can't hardly begin to discuss anything in 1 minute. As an example, until I am told to sit down is 45 seconds. I'll bet you that I couldn't even name the departments and the number of pages given to those departments in that 45 seconds. And yet, you expect us to make meaningful comments? I don't think so. Then, of course, there's that other issue, so I will move on to, somewhere someone has to learn that trees give us oxygen. And it seems that the people who paid in major money to a campaign here or there have not been held accountable for the trees. By the way, I exceeded my 45 seconds.
Hi, good evening. My name is Joaquin Rivera. I was here once a month ago. I just want to ask you to people who knows, people that has been working in law enforcement. I think both of you, Alex Padilla, Mr. James Batts, you have a lot of experience. I can ask it to the mechanic or to people working on the street. I ask it to the people who really knows. In 2010, my son, he was 15 years old. And the homicide department, the detective came to my house 3 times. And they were looking for my son when he was 15 years old, 15. And I told, who is looking for? Who is it? Oh, detective. He never gave me the name. After my son came out, he went downstairs, and I told him, what happened with my son? Why are you looking for? Oh, it's a personal issue. It was not once, He came 3 times to my house. He never gave me the name. I never know who was it. That's illegal to don't tell me who is it. Or my son, it was 15 years old, underage. It's a minor. And I was thinking, at least if the police department come to my house, they got the key. They can come at any time. Anytime, because always I've been respecting the police since the first day I came to this country. I have a respect. But I wonder, I never knew that. Who was it? Mr. Jan Batts. We have to emphasize these people to be more professional and be more responsible. I didn't argue with him. Once because I was more sick and I was very weak that time. But now I'm feeling better and stronger than 7 months ago. That's my question. You say I would like.
Did he show your identification? The officer show you identification?
No.
How do you know it was an officer?
Just came to my house.
Well, see, so we couldn't comment intelligently on it because we have no way of knowing who came to your door. Ordinarily, when a police officer approaches you, especially a detective, they'll show you a badge and an ID card so you'll know that you're dealing with law enforcement.
He never left me in my house, not even a business card, because now I know Mr. Will Salmon, Royce Walls, I know another people, some police, they were coming to my house, they always leave me a card.
Right, and that's what police do. They show you identification, they leave you a business card. So if someone refuses to show you identification, don't let them in your house.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, but that was 4 years ago, you see. Now I am more aware.
I
And thank you
understand.
for your time, because I know it's over, But this, I am just getting information from people who really knows. I don't want to go to the
Don't
drugstore.
let anyone in your house that professes to be the
Okay.
police. but doesn't identify themselves visually.
Especially now, you know that my son was murdered. You
Yes,
see,
sir.
now I'm very more aware, you know, scared. My family is scared.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. That was my question.
You're welcome.
Good evening. My name is Crystal Johnson, and I have been a resident of the city of Inglewood for the last 7 years, a homeowner in Council District 1. And I do have a few concerns regarding a number of things that I've seen in the city. Not only am I a taxpayer, but I have a vested interest within the city to raise my child, my newborn, here in the city and to grow and thrive. So the first concern I have, which may have already been addressed or is in the works, is the street repair on Century Boulevard between Van Ness and Inglewood Avenue. I don't know how long that's proposed to take, but, I mean, it needs to be addressed. My next concern is a farmer's market within the city of Inglewood, which I called and talked to Councilman Dodson's secretary a number of months ago and was told that it's out for bid. I'm not certain why it's out for bid, if the city is gaining some sort of income from a farmer's market, but I shouldn't have to drive to Mar Vista or to Torrance or to some other city in order to get organic, fresh produce to feed my family. And I just think that it's kind of not fair that Inglewood has been subjected and accepted contracts and businesses which are mainly fast food. You know, most recently, Jack in the Box on the corner of Manchester and Crenshaw. I was hoping that maybe a Chipotle or something that offers a fresher option to the residents here in Inglewood, instead of having to drive 5 miles to Westchester to go to Trader Joe's or 5 miles to El Segundo to go to Chipotle. Yes, there's a Chipotle down in the Crenshaw district, but, you know, the option in El Segundo is a little bit better. So that's another of my concerns, is a farmer's market and healthier food options, healthier grocery stores in Inglewood. There's a property that's vacant on Crenshaw Boulevard at 83rd, I believe, across from Rally's. You know the location I'm talking about. There should not be a Dollar Tree there. There should not be some other 98-cent plus. We don't need another one of those stores or businesses in the city of Inglewood. You know, I see that the farm has been built. We're trying to attract a different audience, a different resident, and I think if we offer a change or different venues for residents to shop in, we'll attract a different type of individual that will invest and buy here in the city of Inglewood to help revitalize and make the city thrive. Also, my final concern is Warren Lane School is now closed, so the property is vacant, and I'm just wondering what the city is planning to do with that location, because the grass is high, it's an attraction for a crime and transients possibly, and it doesn't look good in a city that I pay taxes in.
It belongs to the school district, ma'am. The city doesn't own.
I'm sorry?
It belongs to the school district. The city does not own that property.
Inglewood School District or LA Unified?
No, Inglewood Unified School District is a different entity than the city.
So,
We don't own it.
so there's no idea what's...
You would go to the school board meeting on Wednesdays.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Evening, Mayor, City Council, staff. Just had 2 questions and 2 comments. One is a comment on how excited I was when I picked up one of the papers and saw how we, as a city, were able to get a lot of people in here to look at Market Street and get it redone. I applaud you guys for that. That was an excellent choice to do. My second comment is, I've noticed in my neighborhood, I'm in District 1, that some of the streets are being repaved, but it seems that they are just skipping. They'll do a block, skip a block, go down another block, and I'm just wondering if that's going to end up in the whole neighborhood, or are we just doing the worst spots on the street?
That's exactly. The streets are rated A through F, and they start with F, and as we go through the city, we get back up to the better streets.
Okay, and also, one of the questions that I have is, I think we need to go back to the airport, because my house is one house over from 90th Street. I can go outside my back door and look up at the bottom of a plane. Now, they're saying that, oh, it's not loud there. Well, the planes are not going down Manchester, the planes are going down 90th. And I hear them every night. I was just wondering if maybe they can move the sensors a little bit further in so they can see how loud it is when they do come across.
You know, what you're asking is a very important question, so I'll freeze your time. The sound measurements were done a long time ago, and there was agreement entered into by the city, a number of cities, and LAWA and the FAA for this to be the contours, and it was set. And when the city signed on, they signed an agreement that if they ever challenged the contours, that first they would have to give back the money that the cities were given for the program. So it's a poison pill. So the reality is that the FAA is not going to change the contours. And people outside the contours that want double pane windows and their homes air conditioned, they'll have to do it themselves, because you won't get the FAA to come back and say, oh, now we're going to expand the contours. In fact, they are shrinking them come 2015. So that's why we're really working hard to insulate all the homes that are in the contours as they exist. So I just want to make that really clear. There is not going to be any going back to LAWA and asking them to change the contours, because they don't have the power. This is mandated by the FAA.
Is there anything we can do about getting them to go down Manchester instead of Prairie? Okay. And other than that, again, I want to thank all of you that are in this room. As of November of last year, I retired, 25 years of service. And I know each and every one of you in here. And you all are good people, and you guys do an excellent job at what you do. Keep it up, and hopefully one day we'll have a council meeting that lasts 5 minutes. All right? Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Gil Matthew, District 4, Mayor and City Council. Now, we have budget hearings scheduled for tomorrow and Thursday. Now, it's only 3 weeks to the fiscal year. We as residents have no information, no draft budget, no third quarter report, and then you're going to give us permission to speak 1 minute. That's totally unfair. And I don't know what the reason for that is, but I must tell you, if you do not consider finances as serious as it is to allow this council and finance department to come within 3 weeks of a budget, that's fiscally irresponsible. And I must tell each one of you council people, you are all responsible, because when it comes down to state law, it goes by what a reasonable person under the same conditions would make the same decision. So just keep that in mind and check with your individual council. Now, the good news is my street has been paved, the half a street. So what you do is set a policy, no more half street paved at a time. If you don't have the money to complete it, leave the street alone until you can pave the whole street. Here again, on the successor agency, you need some clarification on it, because now you're getting a lot of denials. You're getting a lot of denials. In fact, you just submitted one to cover the liability for the purge, and it has been denied. So when it's denied, it's going to be a liability of the general fund. But these are the kind of things that should be discussed. And Mr. Esparza and Mr. Fields, that is your responsibility. Now, if no one on this council going to direct the city manager and Mr. Esparza, then we the people are not represented, because we depended upon you. And here again, you have people saying, well, you shouldn't be able to
complain or what they perceive as complaint. But this is a municipality and not a kingdom. And to the gentleman who didn't know that Ladera is in Inglewood School District, I checked, sir, and they are in the Inglewood School District. They have not succeeded because they refused, Culver City refused to accept them, but they're still in Inglewood School District. Ladera does have a school district.
And the budget's posted on the website. It was posted with the item, Mr. Mathau.
I don't have a
Okay, I'm sorry, sir.
Good evening once again. I'm Stuart Bailey, Mayor, Council, City staff. Wonderful things you have done to the building. I like this room. I like the improvements you're making. We are finally getting updated with our police department, with our antiquated equipment, as well as up here. I'm sure of these things that will be happening. Our police department has been in the Stone Age. We are coming into the new century. Okay? I'm not trying to say that this is a police state. No, we are not going to be a police state. But we are going to have law and order. And those who break the law will feel the wrath of the law to the best of our ability. Now, there was a gentleman up here who attacked the residents of Inglewood, saying bad things. He's going to do the federal. I'm just going to say it like this. If you think you got enough power to bring federal here, come see me first. You got a problem with my city? Come talk to me. I will talk to federal all day. I've written letters to federal people. I've talked to the President of the United States of America. In letters, no problem. I have been bonded plenty of times. So every state, every city, and the federal government know me very well. I have no problems talking to anybody who thinks they have a title that is important. Because what it comes down to is you're a human being, I'm a human being. You have red blood, I have red blood. You put on your pants the same way I do, one leg at a time. So, people say they're not afraid. I can say it too. Matter of fact, I enjoy the challenge. So, on this, please stop attacking the people that are trying to do the right thing. That's all we want. We just want people to be able to make decisions up there that affect the residents of the city in a positive manner. Unfortunately, you, as a person, have issues. Don't bring them here. Go talk to a psychiatrist. That's all I ask. Because if I can't talk to anybody here, and then I'm going to talk to somebody, and maybe they can write this person a diocese letter, and we can all understand and talk to you about what your issues are. These are my comments. Everybody, please, enjoy the budget meetings. I understand it's just a minute, but it's not about us. It's about what the work that these people up here are trying to do for us. And everybody, please have a good week. Thank you.
Thank you. Close public comment. Chairman Horton, would you like to address the body? Council comments. Councilman Dotson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to cover first the town hall meeting. Some of the people come to the mic. One question was why have the town hall meeting at the church? Very frankly, it's because of the parking. I had 125 people at the first town hall meeting. I expect at least that many or more in this next town hall meeting. We cannot park those cars on 7th Avenue and Manchester, so that's one of the reasons. So mark your calendar, because you don't want to miss this town hall meeting. A lot of your questions can be answered. It'll be Saturday, September the 20th at 10 a.m., and it'll be at the First Church. And we have some great speakers. Matter of fact, Dr. Wanda Brown will be one of those speakers. So you need to come and hear her, if nothing else. The mayor will also be there. The chief will be there. We'll have a representative from Southern Southern California Gas Company, Edison, AT&T, and there'll be someone there to tell you about the Daniel Freeman site. So, and all these people will also be talking about employment as well. So you can get some really good information. Please come Saturday, September 20th, First Church, 10 to 12. We're having a shredding event. That shredding event will be on the 27th, and that will be at the ICOP Center on the corner of 7th Avenue in Manchester. So please bring your items to be shredded, and we will get it done for you. Now, I also attended, along with the mayor and Councilman Franklin, the ribbon cutting, reopening of Ability First, Joan and Harry Myers Center at 80th and Crenshaw. It has been in that location in Inglewood, in the First District, since 1976. It has been located in the same area and has supported people who have disabilities and special needs. And I am certainly proud that they are still there and still doing business. On October the 24th, I attended the VMA Awards, which was an international television event. It put Inglewood on the map, and it was highly successful. And I want to tell you, I was in the traffic. It took me exactly 15 minutes to go from that forum home. So now, I don't know if you had trouble in the traffic from the forum, you evidently wasn't going in Inglewood anyway, because it took me exactly, I timed it exactly 15 minutes from my house, from the forum to my house. On August the 30th, Labor Day weekend, I attended 3 block parties: 77th Street, 78th Street, 78th Place. I want to thank all those block captains and block participants who held those successful block parties. I had a wonderful time. I want to particularly thank and congratulate the block captains and co-captains of 77th Street Block Club. This was their very first block party, and they had over 50% participation. To me, that is absolutely wonderful. Mr. Mayor, can I have another minute, please?
You certainly can.
Also, I want to congratulate our Public Works Department again. Talking about Century Boulevard, I just happened to go down Century Boulevard this past Saturday. Now, I don't know if I'm the only one drive Century Boulevard. If you drive Century Boulevard, there were not potholes, there were pot ditches, 2 of them. I simply made a call to the Public Works. That same day, which was a Saturday, that same day, they went out and fixed those ditches. So if Century Boulevard is, we know, is our main thoroughfare, and we really are working to get that street fixed. Okay? So please don't think that we don't understand your problem, because we go through the same problem. But my hat's off to the Public Works Department, because one call to them, and if you have a problem, make your call to me, and I will take care of it. With that, I thank you all for coming out. We appreciate your comments. And those of you who live in the First District, please come to me after the meeting, take my card. I'm in my office most of the time. If I'm not, I'm in the district somewhere. You can call me, and we won't have to have this conversation here at the council meeting. We can have it on your lawn, in your house, on my street, anywhere. So thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to address a couple of concerns. We had a gentleman come up here and talk about we're soaking the city of money because we're not full-time employees and aren't doing anything. And That gentleman is so far-fetched on some of the comments that he makes, and he has no idea the time and the effort that everybody puts out here to provide service to our community 7 days a week. This isn't an 8 to 5, Monday through Friday position. Matter of fact, on Tuesday, that we were dark, that we didn't have a meeting, we were actually here that night at the CERT graduation, all of us, to congratulate 40 residents from Inglewood who completed the CERT training. So we may not be having a council meeting that week, but we're busy addressing the business of the city. And I like it that that gentleman, as I mentioned it, decides to leave because he didn't want to hear the truth of the matter. So, you know, again, from the city clerk, the treasurer, all the staff up here, everybody works hard to make sure we're doing our part. There's another gentleman come up here and wanted to correct me about the Ladera Heights School District. There is no Ladera Heights School District. What there is residents from Ladera Heights that attend the Inglewood Unified School District. But there is, make no mistake, there is not a Ladera Heights School District. So I just want to be clear on that, and I've corrected that person several times in the past couple of months, and they keep coming up here and saying the same thing, but hopefully they'll get it right one day. I want to thank Centinela Hospital, specifically Dr. Patel, the CEO, Linda Bradley, and their staff. I had a relative that was there that was ill, and their staff and all their people were, and I wasn't there the day that he was admitted, but they were very professional and did an outstanding job, and I just want to recognize, it's one of the best hospitals around, Centinela Hospital, and I want to give them the kudos for a job well done. I really appreciate that. A couple events that are coming up. I'm having a District 2 picnic, and I put some flyers out there on the seats. There's also some out there on the table. Please come out and show your support for our community. You don't have to live in District 2 to come out to enjoy the events that we all put together. So just because you have a District 1 town hall meeting doesn't mean that you have to live in District 1 to come. It's open to everybody in our city, but it's being put together by the specific council member. This coming Saturday, the mayor, and I'm sure he's going to touch on his upcoming town hall meeting, which is also open for everyone. And then after that, we're going to trip over to Dr. Brown, the treasurer's event back here in Community Room A. But at our picnic, I want to let you know that on the 28th of September at North Park, from noon to 3, our city clerk is also going to be there because she's going to help people register to vote if you're not already registered. And there's a big push that she's doing. You probably have seen the signs around the city, reminding folks that your vote counts. It's important. Register to vote. Your voice has to be not only heard, but you have to make a difference by coming out and voting. So I want to thank the city clerk for helping me with that and doing the outstanding job she's doing to get our word out there about getting folks registered. Mayor, I just might need 1 minute.
You already took that, but go ahead.
Did I? Wow. Well, as somebody said earlier, they had 45 seconds, and I was hoping they were going to spend that 45 seconds to talk about a great event that she's actually a part of putting together, and I want to invite everybody to the Adobe. The Adobe's having their fiesta this coming weekend on the 14th, which is Sunday. So after we've been at the town hall and at the event with our treasurer, the following day you can enjoy another great event at the Adobe. And there's flyers here, there's flyers on the table. If you're interested in attending, please come up, grab a flyer. Hopefully we'll see you all there. It's going to be a great event. There's a lot to do there at the Adobe. If you haven't been there in years, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family. Not only to show up on that day, but to come back and to take a tour and get a one-on-one tour of all the good things that are at the Adobe and the history about our beautiful city of Inglewood. Just a reminder that, not that you need to be reminded, but just in a couple of days, we're going to be celebrating September 11th. And just remember to keep all those folks, the men and women in the military here and abroad, all those people that paid a sacrifice, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. With that, I also want to, Mayor, if you close in the memory of Lamar Andre Anderson. He is the nephew of my District 2 Civilian Police Oversight Commissioner, David Stewart, and he passed away a couple of weeks ago. So if you close in his memory, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you. Alex?
I think that's it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Take care.
Councilman Morales. Oh, I forgot what
I was going to say.
No, listen, I think it's great. Alex put so much out there. That's good. It takes a couple of things off of our list, but I want to start with these TV sets. I know something, we're always going to get comments that question, expenses like that. I have to tell you, this is definitely an upgrade. Our staff is constantly moving around, trying to get the screen down, and when Ms. Horton, you have the heater on, sometimes they blow everything out, takes the power out. There's nothing wrong with that either. We need to get you a heater. But the truth is that those TV sets, are an upgrade. And when people watch the meeting at home, they will get to see a better amplified view of all the staff reports, because this is the view that they will have. It's amazing. And, you'll get to see pictures of the things, we're a part of throughout the week. I have to learn to stand in the middle of the picture over there. But in regards to that, I just wanted to point that out. Now, I also wanted to point out we had some good resident comments today. We always do. Ms. Gagne, when she came forward, she pointed out something. And that's that our employees do a great job of enforcing the rules we have. But sometimes when those rules come about, they're at this point unreasonable. At some point they were reasonable, and now we have to look at that policy again. So she's precisely at the right place to do that. They can either call our office or come here. I was dealing with one today about a grandfathered business. They no longer need to be protective of certain rules. We need to kind of help those businesses across the finish line. So I just wanted to thank her for being here. Century Boulevard, you'll hear a lot of things that are great news about what's going to happen with Century Boulevard. Trust me, we all drive it. I drive it probably the most. I live right near it. And, all of our cars juggle like that. And it's time to get it fixed. We've been working on the finances for that. You'll be pleasantly surprised. So much gets said about the forum impact. And all you really have to do is a couple of things. The fact that we all know what's going on at the forum, that's a big deal. But if you want to see the true impact, go over to the forum across the street. Go see all the small businesses that are, that's an impact. An impact that we won't always see in numbers here. But I'm telling you, all the eateries, all the restaurants, all the small-time mom-and-pop shops, they are doing very well during the forum's success, and that's a big deal in the city of Inglewood. And sometimes we won't be able to point our finger at it, but it's happening. So we're very proud of that. In terms of calls, somebody said that we're not available in terms of calls. Alex said a little bit about that. We're all available by phone, all of us. I was speaking to a block club captain today about some issue that's going on in their block. Those are things that happen every day here. So hopefully you guys take that step and really come to our office. Speak up at our office. I think it's a great idea. Mayor, I'm sorry, I'm going to take another minute because Alex took that deal. And so regards to another thing that came up, Ms. Gagne, thank you very much. The reimbursement program, I'm currently working with the mayor to really get it updated. And the fact that some seniors came forward earlier in the year, it's a great program, but really alerted us that it had not been updated in years. Sincerely, the limits need to be adjusted. We're looking at that now. But that's a great program that the city of Inglewood has for our seniors. You'll be very proud of the update that comes forward. In regards to, Alex covered it, so let me just say, if we can close in honor of my uncle, Tony Morales, who was a longtime Inglewood resident, who passed away a week ago of cancer, lived in District 4. Ralph, you met him a couple times? When Ralph literally, he complained about some trash on the street, and Ralph literally went over and picked it up himself, so that was good. Anyway, he loved the city of Inglewood, and, you know, I just want to thank you very much.
Councilman Franklin?
Well, you already know I want my minute, so I'm going to speak in defense. Let me first of all reach out and congratulate Chairman Jerome Horton, who was on the Board of Equalization. He had a small business fair regarding small businesses to be able to be good entrepreneurs and how to know what are the nuances, particularly when it comes to taxes, and also how you can budget to make sure you're profitable and stay in business. I'm still getting feedback on a positive note of that, and I just want to commend you, Chairman, for making that available right here in Inglewood as well. So small businesses, which is the major businesses throughout our city, they're now thriving, and a lot has contributed to the lessons learned through your seminar. So get it back to your staff as well for a job well done. As you heard Councilman Dotson say that the mayor and I, along with Dotson, was at the building first. Joan Harry A. Myers Center was remodeled. I think to understand that this location is a two-story house that got converted by the Meyer family to now become an actual facility that can accommodate those that are autistic, both children and adults, as well as an aquatic swimming pool for them as well. So they now have a quality place they can go to and be able to be with their peers. Also, I attended the Martin Luther King Jr. Hospital with Supervisor Mark Wrigley Thomas regarding the mental health urgent care, because I have concerns when we're dealing with individuals that are less fortunate, that are not able to have a home to live in, that are actually homeless, but yet they need mental health care. And this facility helps provide that for them, both in consultation, medication, and also work with them on trying to actually find affordable housing for them to live in, and also come back in the mainstream of working in our society, which is clearly much needed. During Labor Day, I was attending a number of the Labor Day rallies with a number of union programs that they had an event. And as Councilman Dotson also mentioned, there was a number of block parties that I attended on being able to see family and friends to fellowship with one another. But it's great to have family and friends. But unfortunately, Mayor, I got to close on a sad note. When a young lady who has identified that I'm dealing with stress and strain so bad that I got to take her own life at 25 years old, to the point that I couldn't handle my finances. And when I reach out to Board Member Horton and I reach out to the Financial Literacy Program with Operation Hope, identify, if you find a will, there's a way. And Mayor, I'm going to ask for you to close in honor of Simone Battle, who was a former X Factor contestant, who was also the family of Dr. Anthony Melody Battles, who are District 4 residents, and that they're having her service at Holman Methodist Church at 11 o'clock this coming Saturday. A young lady who thought she was going to rise to fame, but wasn't able to meet her level of expectation, and chose another way of ending her life. And so, on that note, please close in honor of Simone Battle. And on that note, good night.
I wanted to let everyone know that the Inglewood Teen Center at 101 West Manchester in the library is going to have their for 1 year anniversary on September 25th, I believe, from 3:30 to 5. On September 13th, next Saturday, I'm holding a town hall meeting at the living room at 400 West Florence, at the corner of Inglewood Avenue in Florence. Congresswoman Maxine Waters will join me there, along with all the council. We're going to discuss all of the global issues confronting our city. There will be models of the community center that's going to be built at La Cienega and Fairview. There'll be models of the shop-off group's development at the Daniel Freeman site. We'll have a discussion about, what is the real deal with the NFL. There'll be representatives from Hollywood Park and Turner Construction to discuss the jobs that will come online with the Hollywood Park Tomorrow project, as well as a discussion of, where exactly is that development going. So again, that's September 13th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the living room at 400 West Florence. There's parking in the parking structure across the street. To talk briefly about Century Boulevard, we have a little over $30 million put away for that project and $20 million put away for the senior center. All those are bond proceeds that we will not be able to spend until we get our finding of completion from the Department of Finance in a dissolution of our redevelopment agency. There are 422 redevelopment agencies in the state of California, and none have received a finding of completion because the state has contested something in all of their expenditures, and we believe that we are close to getting that done. And so Century Boulevard is funded. There's some redesign work going on right now so that we're not wasting time. In the original plan, it was to take it down from 6 to 4 lanes in some places, and we don't believe that to be wise in this new Inglewood with the entertainment and attractions that we're drawing. We believe we'll need all 6 lanes. About the change in the council, these instruments, monitors, are paid for with PEG money. It's meant to increase public access. I've heard and I've seen myself the inadequacy of our projection system, not only for everyone in the council chambers when we have presentations, financial presentations, but also at home, because what we're trying to do is take a picture of a projection on a white screen. It's inadequate, and it's been talked about for a long time. And so that's what those franchise fees and PEG monies are for, to increase public access. This is phase 1. Phase 2 is to give us the ability to stream our council meetings live on the internet. So this should be something that we celebrate, that we've upgraded ourselves with no general fund expenditures. We have a monitor for everyone in this council chamber to be able to see, and I think that's a great thing. And in fact, one of the things we'll be able to do is that when we pull up something on the internet, when we have the system completed, we'll be able to plug it in live, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a chart right now that was developed by the State Controller's Office, John Chang, and it showed general government expenditures and general government revenues, and it shows Inglewood's expenditures going down and revenues going up, going in 2 different directions. We're going to have our budget study workshops over the next 2 days, and those that have been waiting, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't know, maybe you won't be pleasantly surprised, because we've increased our reserves by 2.5 times. We have really managed our expenses, and we're headed totally in the right direction. As it pertains to the forum, I was a policeman here. I was in the police department for 19 years. Worked the racetrack, the street for the racetrack, worked the street for the forum, and I will tell you, I have never, in all my time here, seen such a magnificent job that has been done since that forum has reopened in moving traffic. I am totally dumbfounded that someone would say that they didn't see people in the streets. It's been a magnificent effort, and I want to praise the police department. I want to praise everyone involved, all the promoters that we've worked with at the forum and the forum personnel. It's been a great collaboration, and it's been a great reflection on our city. The Video Music Awards was an international event, and I'm still hearing about it. So bravo to everyone involved. I want to close the meeting in the name of Lamar Andre Anderson, nephew of Commissioner David Stewart, Tony Morales, uncle of Eloy, Gwen Smith, best friend of Tricia Crenshaw, who passed this week, and Simone Battle. We're adjourned.